little backtrack and then get our route onto the, I think it's the Stuart Cassia Highway, and head our way down to Dease Lake. Passed a few cyclists on this trip so far. It's incredible, these guys out carrying all their stuff on a push bike in such remote spots. That takes some brass balls. Now that's pretty impressive stuff. Hats off to the cyclists we've seen. Right, excitement building once again on board, because in 1.7 miles we've got today's left turn. Right, where's this turn then? Is this it? Must be. You got to make sure you get these turns, because that was the turn. Look at this. Gotta love it. An old saloon there. Oops, let's stay on our right side of the road. Thank goodness I've got this little sticker on here to remind me to ride on the right. Alright, we're just going to settle down and ride along here nice and gently today. We've got 149 miles on this particular road. This is the Cassia Highway, and we're hoping we may see some wildlife, and you never know, we might get lucky today and actually get it on camera, as opposed to turning the camera off as soon as something massive and exciting comes out of the woods, but we'll see. It's so nice to be riding these roads with basically no traffic on at all. It's incredible. Maximum 90 along here. I need to get speak to Paul about how we can change the miles per hour on here over to kilometres, because it'd be much easier if this all matched. Although then my trip counter might be, forget that, we'll stick with miles. So we're just about to cross the border now into British Columbia, and I think that's it for the Yukon then. We're not back into the Yukon. That is our final bit of riding in what was an incredible province, somewhere I'll definitely always remember. It's just a massive, beautiful place. I wonder if there's a big sign saying welcome to British Columbia. My betting is not, but we'll see. 0.4 of a mile to the state line, or provincial line. Aha, could this be it? Yeah, maybe there's a little stop here. British Columbia. Nice. So, just taking some pics by the British Columbia sign. Maybe we might get a thumbnail of that. Thumbnail perhaps. Who knows? It's getting warm. It's bringing all the mosquitoes out. Sort of damp air, because there was a little bit of rain overnight. It's getting warm. Mozzies everywhere. Oh, here's Mrs. Fly. Time to get back on the bike. Right, our next planned stop along this road is Boya Lake, where Mrs. Fly is threatening to go for a swim. Apparently you can swim in it. I think she's nuts perfect personally, because it's mosquito central and you get bitten to bits, but we'll see what it's like when we get there. Also depends how warm the air is. It's warming up though all the time, as you can see. We've gone from that slightly damp start we had a couple of hours ago to clearing up a tree. 65 degrees, 64 degrees now. 50 miles to Boya Lake. So I like the fact that it's still called British Columbia. It's one that we can still claim for ourselves. I'll give you a vast wilderness, mountains yonder, lakes, massiveness, and it's British. Excellent. Loving this sign. Caution caribou next 25 kilometres. We have seen, so far we've seen one moose on this trip, and you've guessed it, we didn't get it on the camera. That was a few days ago. Mrs. Fly saw one, but it was a moose sans antlers, so It wasn't as spectacular as it might have been. Wow, look at this view here. Just opened up this vista. Unbelievable. Wow. But yeah, it'd be great to see a caribou. I don't know what the difference is between a caribou, a moose and an elk. They're all much the same to me, which is outrageous, I know. They all taste nice in a bun, I know that much. What a ride. So Mrs. Flower has just been informing me that caribou are actually what we would call reindeer. I've got a feeling that elk are just Canadian moose. I don't know, kind of in the same way that bison are Canadian buffalo. At least I think that's how it works. I'm sure somebody will correct us if we're wrong. Oh look, I'm stuck behind a white van. Terrific. Although I should have plenty of opportunity to overtake. Let's have a little nose out. Yeah, that'll do. What's that? We appear to have caught up with one of our compatriots. I'm not sure who this is. We're thinking it's Sandy and Paul, probably. Taking it leisurely, en route. Let's get a little shot of them as we come alongside. Give them a wave. So one of the great things about the GS, if you're on these long stretches, is you can put your feet up on the engine bars, cruiser style like this. Although you might look a bit stupid and you get a draft up your trouser leg, it does give your legs a good rest. Well, it's best to do it when you're on a straight bit, but it's been a real boon on this trip so far. Alright, so we've just arrived at the turn off for Boya Lake to see if Carol's going to follow through with a swim. I wouldn't if I was her, but it's entirely up to her. 400 metres it says here. Boya Lake. There's an access road down to the lakeside. Let's hope it's not gravel. This looks distinctly like it. And it's not gravel. Happy day. Oh, spoke too soon. No, it's not too bad. Well, it's 66 Fahrenheit air temperature here. I wonder what it'll be in the lake. I'm sure Carol will report back shortly. What would be really good is to get down to the lake here and find a little coffee shop selling cake and coffee. We could sit and chew the cud for an hour. Something tells me that's not likely to happen, but you never know. However, we do have some water and some energy bars. We might have to make do with that. And an apple. That'll do. Come on, there's a lake round here somewhere. Aha, I see yonder lake. Wonder where we can park. Here I think, or somewhere thereabouts. Okay, so we're at Boya Lake now, and there are loads of mosquitoes around. It's a beautiful setting, which I'll show you in a second, but due to the mosquitoes I'm keeping my helmet on because I don't want to be bitten to shreds. I think going in isn't for me, although Carol's going to make a decision. She's wandering down there now. Well, I've dared to flip up the helmet. It certainly is a beautiful spot here. Check this out, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, looks pretty lovely. Right, well here we are. We've decided to come down to the water's edge at Boya Lake, and I've actually got my fancy microphone out, so I hope it's working all right. But excuse the thing on my head as well. These are available from my website, of course, but they act as a handy bald head mosquito shield. Anyway, check out this lake. A few of the others have turned up. Mrs. Flower is threatening to get into the water, rather her than me. But yeah, what an absolutely beautiful spot, and a bit of a respite from the bike. Nice one. Right, Mrs. Flower is going in. Oh, looks like Fiona's joining her as well. Very, very brave. Oh, pretty impressive.
Oh, it's very soft and oh, that's don't like that.
Oh, thanks, Kimmy.
Well, you're in. The challenge has been met, and we've got video evidence. So, Andy, are you going to go in?
I'll think about it.
Good man, that's a no then.
I've thought about it.
And the answer is no.
Yeah, liars.
Yeah, they always, whenever people go, they always say it's not cold in here, don't they?
It's like some religious sect. They think it's the best thing. You've got to join them.
Well, she's got the right hat for it anyway. Jim, fancy a little dip?
Well, I do, but unfortunately I forgot my swimmers.
I'm completely with you there.
Isn't that
it's an absolute bugger, isn't it?
Isn't that convenient?
See, it's all very nice now, but when they get out and they're absolutely freezing their chuff off, it's not going to be good, is it?
We'll give them some.
I must admit, I'm tempted.
Go on then.
No, I'm not that tempted. I would regret it afterwards. And
I think we might regret not going in afterwards.
yeah, yeah, the sort of thing to look back on and think, oh, I should have done that.
It does sound refreshing, I have to say. And how does it compare to the Irish Sea?
Probably warmer.
Yeah.
Trying to get. No, it's my feet. It's
So us chaps can be pleased in our wimpiness, but Petra's got no excuse. So when are you jumping in then?
No, I don't do lake swimming.
You do, you're German. You're
Very sensible. Well, full credit to Mrs. Flyer for going in for a swim. She makes it look easy as she gets out. We'll just let her get out with a bit of dignity, which could happen any time now.
Oh, I can't get out.
And the question is, how was it, Carol?
Absolutely marvellous. Honestly.
I bet you feel great now.
Oh, I feel it was gorgeous.
It's just getting dry might be a bit of an issue, as we didn't bring any towels, but luckily our friends did.
Let me bring my little.
There's no room in the pannier for towels. I'm sorry about that.
I can use your head pants.
Certainly not. You have to buy one yourself. Available on my website, $9.99. Come on, Alf. We're not watching. No one's running the camera or anything. Look at this man. Fine figure of a man.
Jeez.
Check out the suntan. Look like you're enjoying it.
It's like being in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Breathless.
Oh. They always say that, don't they? It's a video, you have to swim.
Oh,
oh, look at this. Wee, very impressive, sir. Well done. Well done. I think an applaud. What a nut job. Just before we leave the lakeside, I've got to show you Andy's back. Check this out. Look at this, look. Got the map on his back. Some little sort of clever button thing, which we'll find out what that does in a minute. But so Petra can read the map. Oh, so go. How good is that? What's the button for, Andy?
The button is for remote control for the GoPro.
Oh, wow, fantastic. We'll check out this RV. This would be the envy of the Caravan Club. Power stroke 6.7. That should do.
It's a hell of a trailer just for a couple of bicycles.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that was great fun, and all credit and kudos to Alf, Carol and Fiona for going in. Actually looked very refreshing, in all seriousness. Right, let's see if we can get out of here without any calamity. Right, nothing about. Well, what a lovely spot that was. There's a little jetty there. There's a signpost that says only for use by light aircraft for docking. How cool is that? Imagine landing on that lake and having a bit of a picnic and then flying off afterwards. That's what I call flying. Brilliant. Right, onward to Dease Lake via a petrol station. Loving these trucks and RVs, as you may have gathered. Check this out, we caught up with a couple of the team. That's Alf ahead, now known as Aquaman, in the Dayglow helmet. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful out here now. Does riding get any better? I'll just say to Carol, actually, this Schubert helmet I've got is the C5 that I have. It has one of those built-in flip-down sun visor things. First helmet I've had was one of those that I've used, and I have to say it's really good. Even though I wear sunglasses, having that flip down as well, it just keeps the glare out when you need to.
and you can have your visor up, the main visor up, get a bit of airflow but still have that down. It all works, it's good. Oh wow, loving this scenery. Still some little pockets of snow on the very top peaks here, but how good do they look? I just had the brainwave a little bit earlier of putting the screen down on the bike, so hopefully a slightly better view out of the camera now. The screen is getting absolutely covered in bugs, as you'd imagine. We're cleaning our visors a couple of times a day, but they're still getting absolutely spattered with mosquitoes, of which there seems to be an awful lot around here this time of year. So if you do come up here, bring some mozzie repellent, because they ain't small ones either. I've seen, well, a bit like Lancasters, but more deadly. Alf riding the British way in Britsh Columbia, good man. Oh, another lake. Doesn't look nearly so inviting, that one though. So we've lost about 5 of our party that we were following. They're back at a fuel stop, but they needed fuel, and unfortunately the fuel station was closed and there was no fuel, so they're kind of stuck. So they're going to wait for the support vehicle to catch them up, which is a bit handy because he's carrying some emergency fuel. He'll be able to give them enough to get to the next fuel station. Let's hope there's actually some fuel there, which is actually Dease Lake, which is about 90 miles I think. We've got a range of 141 still, so we've got plenty of fuel. We've, as you may have noticed, taken the opportunity to fill up at every possible opportunity, just for that very reason really, because you don't know if you're going to end up somewhere you desperately need fuel and they're not going to have any. So fingers crossed that'll all work out. But for us, the next stop is a place called Jade Mountain, named because there's a jade mine there. But we also hear there's potentially free coffee. I think they try and entice you to buy jade by having a free coffee. Well, they can keep the jade, but we do want a coffee. Anyway, we'll see what's there. Right, possible coffees. Ah, free coffee. Excellent. This is Jade City, entering the world famous Jade City. Yeah, right. Let's go and see if we can get a coffee anyway. Much needed. Alright, well, we're coffeeed up. We went into that little place there where they actually have free coffee. The idea being that hopefully you'll buy some jade. Which we didn't, but we did leave a little donation for the coffee, so there we go. Anyway, there's a fuel station here. Don't know if it's open or not. I assume we can get out at the end here. Looks decidedly closed to me. Yeah, that ain't happening. We've got enough fuel to get to our final location today, which is 76 miles away. Hopefully we can get some fuel there. Right, onwards then. Right, final leg for today. Much easier day in terms of time on the bike. It's been a nice run. Still little pockets of snow up there in late August. Presumably they stay there the whole time. Imagine this looks spectacular in the winter. Maybe not one for a motorcycle trip. Right, broken pavement ahead. How bad can that be? Look, some actual houses. Some people live here. It's incredible. First proper buildings we've seen for a while. Sign for moose. It's all looking up. Civilization is coming. Just going to ride this a little bit careful in case it turns into roadworks like we had a couple of days back. That stuff was quite tricky. But no, I think that was it. No problem. Excellent. There was just a sign up that said caution, narrow winding road. Well, that'll be fun, because I'll tell you what, so far on this trip what we haven't seen are any narrow roads. We've had a few winding ones, but they've been lovely and wide. I imagine their definition of a narrow winding road is different to ours, but a great road nonetheless. No, it's a lovely road, but I don't think we can call it narrow, I'm sorry. So this lake that you may be able to see ahead of us now on the GoPro is actually Dease Lake, which is the name of the place we're staying tonight. We've been following it for some time. It's absolutely massive, look at it. An absolute stonker that is. We've still got another 19 miles to go yet till we get to our base for the night. Now this base for the night is one of these places that's pretty remote again. We are hundreds of miles from anywhere major, so the guys at Motorrad Tours have arranged for somebody to come in and actually cook for us or provide food. I'm not quite sure how the setup is, but it sounds like it's alright. It's things like lasagna, salad, Greek salad, garlic bread, the works. So really looking forward to that, because we haven't really had, well, what I class as a decent meal today. We didn't really have one yesterday either. We've eaten, but it's been snacking rather than, you know, proper meals. So looking forward to that tonight. Hopefully that's going to be good. And that's purely because this Stuart Cassia highway is something like 400 miles long, and it just breaks the day up. It would have been a very long riding day indeed if it wasn't for stopping at those lodges. So we'll see what those are like in a minute. Should be there in about half an hour, and hopefully there's an opportunity for fueling up as well. So we're starting to get low on the old go juice, so we'll top up when we can. We think it's Sunday today. We've kind of lost track of the days of the week, and that could explain why some of the fuel stops have been closed.